We'll turn to our next pitcher, and that is Kelly House from Psychology and First Nation Studies at UW Green Bay, presenting on origins of imposter syndrome in Indigenous communities. Thank you. You may begin.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly and I'm a recent graduate from UWGB. I graduated last spring, and so last fall semester I had my first instance of imposter syndrome. When I was applying for graduate programs, I felt as if the person that I was portraying was not me, and if I was giving off a persona that was misleading. Even though I've accomplished many things in my undergraduate career, I had a constant internal monologue of statements such as, "You're not as good as your peers, someone's going to find out how dumb you are. What gives you a right to be part of these programs, to be part of this quick pitch?" And so what I was experiencing, and what at least 10% of the population will experience at one point in their life, is beyond a healthy nervousness. Although it's not recognized by the DSM-5, imposter syndrome is a genuine fear of being exposed as a fraud and a form of intellectual self-doubt. Imposter syndrome has lasting effects on someone's life, including the reluctancy to take on new opportunities, which could sabotage your career, and higher dropout rates, and potentially mental illness. And so most research has reached the consensus that women, racial and ethnic and religious minorities experience it at higher rates. So the question becomes, why these populations? So most research and tips given in overcoming imposter syndrome rely on the individual, but recent research within the last 2 years is shifting the focus off of the individual level and onto the interpersonal and institutional level. And my research focuses on the intersecting causes of imposter syndrome, and specifically looking at Native American populations. Imposter syndrome is not only due to individual causes such as internalized depression or identity confusion, but also due to interpersonal causes such as stereotypes and microaggressions from faculty and staff and coworkers, and institutional causes such as ongoing racism, sexism, classism, xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia. And so these are all historical and embedded in our society. And so many are essentially told that they do not belong in these white, male-dominated and Eurocentric workplaces and school environments. So current research lacks this intersectional model when looking at the symptoms of imposter syndrome. And without this understanding, the treatment of this syndrome is lacking, it is incomplete, and it relies and almost blames the individual. And we need to direct our focus from fixing Native Americans, from fixing women, to instead fixing the places that they occupy. This research will require things such as institutional transformation to address these causes, which makes it that much more difficult and complex when given treatment, but it also makes it that much more urgent, because without interventions at each of these 3 levels, individuals who are capable will not feel capable and will not reach their full potential. And nobody wants that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, judges, do we have any questions?
Kelly, what are some of the things that at an institutional level have been most effective at addressing this issue?
So at the institutional level, again, this is very lax research. So these are things I've actually personally come up with and done kind of outside research on. But having intervention programs and mentioning this at social gatherings, or mentioning this at a more sociable place, or like having peer mentoring programs, and just offering training and assistance, even starting at the high school level, and just letting them be aware that this is a real thing. It really exists. And that you're not crazy. You're not crazy.